Here he is.
Coming in, beaming in from...
There we go.
There he is. Look at it.
Wow.
I was actually talking to Patrick. I was talking to Mum and Dad, and oh God, look how thick your septum is there. You've got much more growth around there. About how I've never really thought that we looked, aside from our mannerism. Yeah. you look Fletcher.
I think it'd be like, because obviously from me and you, Paddy, we're in like literally 20-minute drive, if that, from each other. So like, I wonder what you're doing lockdown wise compared to what I'm doing in lovely Mulgai.
Well, kind of lockdown, it's just been, I suppose I got into quite a good routine of like wake up still like 8ish in the morning, and then usually listen to a podcast while I have breakfast, listen to one of like the Ed Mylett ones, and then usually do like a couple of hours of work. Well, because he's awake usually between like when I get up between 8 and 12. So usually do work between that kind of time when he's around on his phone. Fit in a bit of a workout. Usually did start off running, but then I went too hard in week 1, so I injured my foot. Went straight into a 10k. Couldn't walk. Couldn't really go for a walk for the next couple of weeks properly.
How was that as well?
Yeah, no, it wasn't a good start. So yeah, home workouts in the hallway have been the thing to do while Finlay's out in the sunshine doing workouts. It's been alright, because I was saying to you'll know Kieran, who from Bampton as well. This is just like us being away at tournaments and like being knocked out basically. So you've got a lot of time just to spend in like a hotel room. So we're quite accustomed to just like being able to waste time or like find things to do.
Are you on your own? You live on your own?
Yeah, so my flatmate's gone. He went home for Mother's Day and then lockdown happened.
Okay.
So
solid. Deserted. Absolutely deserted. We're in it together.
Is that tough? Tough being on your own?
It's not too bad, to be honest. I'm quite content in my own space almost. Yeah, remained like relatively productive. So
yeah, Finlay, you couldn't manage that.
Wow, that's it's funny you said that, because that is also what's been echoed by my girlfriend, my mum, my dad, and you, Patrick. And I feel like it's a bit of like a little wave of emotion in terms of like the day goes. Generally, start off fine. I kind of have a bit of a routine anyway. Get up, breakfast, see Amy out. I might have a couple of clients to kind of catch up with in the morning as well, whether that's like a Zoom session or just like a couple of little messages and whatnot, and then walk the dog afterwards, which is again probably similar to Patrick. A really good opportunity just to either listen to a podcast and just try and focus and figure out maybe 2 or 3 tasks that I want to get done that day. Then I get back and then we hit the dead spot. Dead spot of I know what I need to do, and then I piss around for 2.5 hours.
What time of day is that?
Well, it's actually quite early. So I've ever since I turned 30, so that's last year. It was like someone literally flicked a switch, and I now no longer can basically sleep past 6 o'clock in the morning. Every day, weekend, doesn't really matter what time I go to bed. I just wake up, and I don't know if you remember when I worked at the Institute, and I kind of cringe when I think back on it, of how tardy I was for the early morning sessions. I was dragging myself out of bed, and that was getting in for 7 o'clock, which seems like a bloody lie now.
Yeah.
And I would fall in at 7:05 or 5:27, and it was never particularly professional. And now that's it. Just every morning is up. So I'm awake, and it hasn't changed at all.
So when you hit the dead point, it's what, like 10 a.m. or something?
Yeah, kind of 10, half 10. Walk the dog, kind of 9 or 9:30 till 10:30, and I get back. And then it's not even like I don't know what I need to do. It's I haven't necessarily worked out how I'm going to do it. And then it seems to take me a couple of hours of slight procrastination to really figure out, right, how am I going to achieve X, Y, Z? And it feels like maybe I'm not really doing anything because I'm making a second breakfast, having my 3rd coffee of the day, walking around the garden aimlessly. And then from about 12 onwards, I find I'm massively productive. And then I hit 12 till 4 and it's brilliant.
Okay.
So
I'm the opposite. I'm like productive from between like when I wake up to like 1 o'clock, and then it's like that middle stage from like 3 o'clock to about 5 o'clock where I'm hungry but I'm not ready to cook dinner. And then
I'm the same as you. I'm the same as you, Paddy. I've had to like, I've already wrote like, I'm bad. I write like, or bad. I've just got that. I write my routine down, and I've already got like today, like 3 till 4 train. Like I'm just writing off that hour because I know that's when I'm just sitting here, just like, right, what am I going to do next? Like I can't gonna do it. Do you two catch up then in the morning, like, and do you do like a catch up on Zoom, or is it just like text messages about what you're gonna do for the day or anything like that?
Usually just been catching up about one time a week on like a WhatsApp video call, and then the rest of the time is usually just messages back and forth on WhatsApp, I would say.
I think it's been a really good period for us with PowerPress, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's been, I think a couple of things. Supermarkets aren't open, so people aren't buying shit coffee. Well, sorry, supermarkets are open, but people are maybe adverse to going to supermarkets frequently or going to coffee shops frequently. So people aren't buying shit coffee. Fantastic. Second thing, everyone's on their phone. I can guarantee that screen time on everyone's phones has shot up. So all of a sudden, any content that we've been putting out seems to be getting a lot more eyes on it and got involvement. People, all of a sudden, people seem to be engaging with it a little bit more, which is quite rewarding, because I'm sure we've all been there where you've potentially invest quite a lot of time and you feel like no one's watching or no one really gives a hoot
These
what's going
videos.
on. Yeah, exactly. So that's been good on a kind of outward way, and then on the inwards it's just a bit more time to actually think about maybe where we're going with this, what we're doing, how we're marketing it, what our long-term aims are and stuff like that, and tidy up all different factors as well, like just being a bit more business minded, I guess, something, you know, in terms of like looking after the bookkeeping and the financials.
What about you, Paddy?
Not everyone's able.
Like you said, it gives you time to do the things you normally don't really want to do, or you don't have time to do. Like you said, it's like the bookkeeping stuff. It's probably, for me, it's numbers are my least enjoyable thing, I would say.
Yeah. Really? So you're definitely better at bookkeeping than I am. Andy will vouch for that as well.
He just likes to spend them.
Oh yeah, well, I'm good with money, but actually like sitting down and like calculating like what's coming in, what's going out, profit, loss, all that kind of stuff. It's just a bit, I find a bit, it's not tedious, but it's not something I enjoy doing.
Yeah, I can understand that.
But it's been a good time to actually do it.
I kind of wondered as well for you, Paddy. Like obviously you were doing like a lot of going down to London, going into gyms, and like you were doing a lot of like your pop-up stand kind of marketing. Like obviously you've not had that, whereas like Finn, you obviously do much more of the social media. I could be wrong here, just like from the outside looking in. Does that make your life a bit harder, Paddy, to do what you do? Or?
Yeah, I'd say so, because sometimes I'm like, yesterday particularly, I feel like I always want to try and be productive, but it's like sometimes like, oh, actually no. Yeah, you can, like, there's learning you can be doing and stuff, but like a lot of the stuff I'd say just now has been probably more weighted towards Finlay. I'd say his role's like almost like gone up, or there's more time being invested in that, and obviously usually I'm out and about meeting people or doing the pop-up, so yeah, that's it's been a bit of a change, I'd say.
Is there anything you've done to kind of, not, you can't replicate it, but are you kind of catching up with all the people that you were speaking to before, or is there anything like that you do?
In terms of like all the places we're stocked in, I've been so that week 2 of lockdown, just send them out like a general email just saying like we're still operating basically, free delivery for your members. If there's anything we can do to like cross collaboration type thing, like happily help out. and we got like a few good responses from that, and then after the review again sent out another one just basically saying like, when you're going to open, we're ready to like assist. So it's just I think for a lot of these kind of, especially the CrossFit gyms we're going into, it's going to be I think it'll be a while before they open anyway, so it's just kind of keeping in contact. I've been doing some of like their workouts and stuff, and just trying to just keep in that collaboration kind of phase with it. But yeah, there's obviously not as much as it was before.
You got a couple of competitions, or is it just the one competition that I keep seeing pop up? Is it, what's that?
Probably the same one popping up at the moment. It's gone a bit, well, for us certainly, it's definitely gone a bit kind of viral or whatnot. It's blown up massive, which is fantastic. We do have quite a few Patrick's been doing a really good job of just collaborating with companies kind of in a similar zone. I'm sure everyone's in a very similar position in the fact that we're just looking to kind of maintain awareness and maintain a bit of kind of drip feeding in the public's eye, like in terms of CrossFit gyms and business owners. You know, that kind of B2B is, you know, non-existent at the moment, understandably. They have enormous headaches going on globally of when they're going to open up, are they going to be able to open up? And sadly, I think a drinks company probably plays a pretty small part in that. You know, the core business is their gym memberships, and they've got to tackle that first. So I think for us, it's whatever we can do to go maybe circumvent that a little bit, well, keep those relationships going, but also kind of circumvent that and just try and be as aware of the public eye as well, and kind of be in front of the customer. I think it's been really good to watch just how all the other businesses have adapted. I think everyone's, you know, it makes you really aware of how vulnerable a kind of front-facing business is and how important digital is.
My last kind of question for you both is, I think you have kind of covered it already, and you can do this whether that's from a personal point of view or a company point of view, but like, what are the kind of like maybe one or two positives you've taken from the whole situation?
I suppose I have kind of covered it in terms of having more time to, I don't know, just do the tasks you don't want to do. And again, it's probably just for me, because I was usually like, beforehand, I've seen you up at Nuffield before when I've been coaching badminton. Usually I've been kind of dodging, like before all this happened, I was dodging around from coaching back to the business, back to coaching. So it's quite nice just to actually not be doing that for a bit of time and just kind of be settled focusing on the business, because it gives you time to actually, like Finlay was saying, like think about where it can go, what you want to do with it, and again do the tasks you don't want to do.
I can see that totally. I dodge about all the time as well, and it's nice to just actually be in one place and just, although you can have those dips in your day because you're used to being like, right, I need to do this, and there's pressure on you, but having that bit of time's nice. What about you, Finn?
In terms of the business, very, very similar to Patrick in terms of thinking about where we want to go long term with it. I feel like it's great having that little spark of an idea, which I'm chronically bad for having crappy ideas left, right, and centre. But I do think for a business to just kind of be aware, for a business to be more successful, is you need to have better systems, and I don't think we've necessarily had enough of a systematic approach to whether that's marketing, keeping in track of inventory, all that kind of, again, all the kind of boring stuff. So that's been nice. That's been good to kind of get a grips of. It's, you know, put yourself uncomfortable. But I'd say on a personal level is probably just having the time to kind of reflect of like where, this sounds a bit kind of like hippie-ish, but reflect, I guess, on where I kind of want to go with my own career, because you've obviously kind of been involved in it so much, you know, and you're probably similar, and a lot of pressure. I really want to get into this job working with elite athletes, and then made quite a significant move to Australia with not necessarily any long-term planning on it. Very much enjoying it here, but that's kind of got past that stage of just enjoying it and seeing what's going. It's probably time now to have a think about what can I see myself doing for a little bit longer. Who do I want to work with, and I just really would like to get to the stage where I can basically choose what I work rather than just accepting everything that comes my way.